Okay, so years ago, my instructor went to Brazil for a month, and I taught for him while he was away for a month. And rather than pay me for teaching for a month, he came back with a few gifts for me, one of which was this book from Brazil, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Defesa, Pessoal. Mais de 50 posição, 400 ilustração. As you can tell, my Portuguese isn't so great, but you know. Anyway, volume 1. Apparently there's other volumes, so let's see. Posição básicas. That's basic positions. Aguarda. Guard. Raspada is sweeps. Montadas. Saídas de montada. I think that's mount. Passagem de guarda is passing guard. Finalização com guarda. Passada, saída na guarda. I don't know what that means. Passing guard and finishes, I think. Evolução da meia guarda. That's half guard. Meia is half. Escapatão de meia. I don't know what that is. It's half guard. Chave is advances. I don't know what that is. Advanced movements? I don't know. Arm locks, leg locks. Oh, they put those in English. Yeah. Domin dandao costas. Saída do triângulo. Whatever. As you can tell, my Portuguese, it was pretty good when I went to Brazil. My Portuguese was pretty good. You know, I could ask people, where is the bathroom? And, you know, other things. Okay, porra, isso. You know, what the F is this? I said that a lot. Sometimes I screamed it in restaurants. Anyway. Passing guard, half guard again, guard. Various. Stand in the guy's guard or something. I have no idea what's going on there. Close guard. Oh, I guess close, because fecha is close, so close guard and close guard when your opponent is en pé, on his feet. Pé his feet. Guard. Raspadas. Raspada is sweeps. Let's see. This one you get him kind of in a head and arm, and then make a butterfly hook and turn him over. And you can do a head and arm choke. That's a good one. This one again, you have a kind of a head and arm thing going on, and then you just climb up onto his back, choke him. That's a good one. I like how they put a little illustration on the guy's gi. It's sponsored apparently. The drawing's not so great, but sponsored. What's this one? Raspada com oponente em pé. It's when he's on his feet. He stands up. Apparently his knees are too close together, so you do this one. I call this one the cattle sweep. You bind his knees too far together, and you put him to the side and go up on top of him. That's a good one. I don't know if other people call that one the cattle sweep. I call it the cattle sweep because, you know, they're like a cattle in a slaughterhouse with their legs tied together, you know. Raspada sweep. This is the back. He stands up, and you back sweep him. I don't come up on top of the guy like that. I touch this knee to the ground and then roll over my shin like it's a rolling pin, kind of. See, if you do this, there's a lot of space. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. I call that one the back sweep. I remember there was a UFC where the guy was fighting that was Cowboy Cerrone, and he tried this on him, and then Cowboy just unloaded on the guy's face because he wasn't straight. He was all bent over, you know? Anyway, whatever. I guess in a mixed martial arts fight or a real fight or whatever, you should just use your hands to cover your face, then kick the guy away so you don't get the dude unloading on your face, especially if he's all bent over. What's this one? He stands up, you put your feet in his hips, and over he goes, and you mount him. See? I call that one the elevator sweep. Some people call that the balloon sweep, but I don't call it the balloon sweep because I don't like balloons. Okay? They're bad for the environment, and they explode, and they're noisy, and they, you know. It's like, hey, here's something that's in the way where you can't see, you know. Plus Pennywise, the clown, and all that stuff with his balloons going into the wind. Whatever. That's why I call it the elevator sweep. A little peek into my psyche for you. Here's a butterfly sweep. You can see he's got over the arm, he's got the belt. Makes a butterfly hook, turns him over, mounts him. That's a good one. What's this one? Looks like it's a scissor sweep. Scissor him over, mount. What's this one? I don't even know what I'm looking at here. You go take him one way and... Oh, is this 2 sweeps? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, it's 1 sweep. Fine. He's squatting, I guess. You kind of turn him over, mount him. What's this one? Oh yeah. This one, you get your shin on his shoulder, underhook his leg, turn him over, go up on top. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I've done that one, but it looks like it's pretty legit. Inversão. Inversion, I guess that means. Quando você se encontrar nesta posição, when you encounter this position, cinture seu oponente e raspe na direção apontada pelas setas. I have no idea what that means. It looks like you're kind of just folding, kind of, not double legging him, but kind of, whatever. What's this one? Oh yeah, I know this one. This is the kind of an omoplata sweep. He stands up. You grab under his leg, you grab his sleeve, you put him in an omoplata. There, he flips, and there you are. Omoplata is, as a submission, it's pretty low percentage, but as a sweep, it's pretty high. Advertisement for Gracie-magazine.com. Montadas e saídas da montada. I think that's like mount and movements of the mount or something like that. Let's see. Here's a cross choke, I think. Yeah, put your one hand in and then your other hand loops around and there's your cross choke. It's pretty good actually, considering the illustrations aren't so hot. It's pretty good. I wonder why they didn't just take photos. You would think it would be quicker to take photos than spend all the time drawing these things. I don't know, whatever. What's this one? This is an Ezekiel. Yeah, see here it says Ezekiel. Estrangulamento. One hand in, other hand in. Very similar to the one we just showed, isn't it? I guess in this one your hand loops around his head. See what I mean? You grab here and then it loops around, but in this one you just go straight across. But it's, at the end of the day, the guys, it's the same deal, yo. Montada con Americana. Yep. Yep. I think they called this one Americana because it was an American guy that came to Brazil and just did it to everybody. Which is odd. Harmlock, a partida de montada. Harmlock. Strange. So I guess you're setting up the choke, he sticks his arm up and you fall for the armbar. It's pretty good. Finalização a partir da montana. I don't know what that's supposed to be, a neck crank? Sort of odd. What's this one? Oh, this is escaping. Oh, maybe saída means escaping. See, it's a lesson for both of us. Because the dude's mounted on you and he's going to choke you, and you trap his arm, then you bridge and roll him over and you come up in his guard. See? You trap his arm, you trap his foot, over you go, and then you're on top of him. Yep. Reposição da guarda. I think it means like reposition, maybe? You know? He's mounted on you, so you push the one leg between your legs, and then you push the other leg, and you get back to your guard. Pretty basic. Pretty basic. Passagens da guarda. I think that's passing guard. You stand up, you open his guard. You back up, hold his pants. Go around his legs, then you have side control. Passagem da guarda. Looks like this, you're kneeling, you open his guard, split your knee in the middle, 2 arms under, grab his collar across, and stack, and you're past his guard. Pretty basic. This earlier one, when I first learned it, they called it the bullfighter. Because the way you're holding the pants, it's kind of like the same way when you're fighting a bull, you hold that red thing, you know? Passagem da guarda. Stand up. 1 arm in. See, this one seriously invites a triangle if you have, you know, see? I remember years ago, I saw this being shown, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get triangled if I try that, but I guess if you're doing it, you got to be wise to the triangle, you know? Keep your elbow tight and back and stuff. Those really old videos, not like Gracie in action, but like the Gracie Basics or whatever, they would show that. I'm pretty sure Roger Gracie shows the guard pass that same way. If you're wise to the triangle, I guess you can roll the dice, but this one looks very similar. This looks like you're really going to get triangled, doesn't it? If you have 1 arm in, 1 arm out. Whatever. Whatever. He somehow gets to side control on the guy. What's this one? Push his leg down, step over it. Go to the side. Pretty basic. I mean, you know, whatever. The book's from the year 2000, so. Gracie Ipanema. I lived in Ipanema. I didn't know there was a Gracie club in Ipanema. Whatever. Finalizações com a guarda passada e saídas de guarda passada. Whatever that means. You would think my Portuguese would be good. Better, anyway, for the Jiu Jitsu related terms, but when I was at the Jiu Jitsu clubs, everyone was just basically speaking English with me, more or less, and the only time I had to speak Portuguese is when I was, like, you know, on a bus or at the shopping mall or whatever, you know. Oh, I see. This is escaping guard passes. So the guy's past your guard, you bridge, you roll onto your knees, and then you grab his leg and put him over. Makes sense? I guess this one you have side control and you move into a choke. Pretty cool. This one you have side control and you move into kind of a head and arm. You step over his head and do this arm lock. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody get caught with that. I've seen it taught a lot, but I don't know if I've ever seen anybody get caught with that. What's this one? Oh, I've seen this one a lot. The 180-degree armbar. You start on one side, you scoop his arm up, you move around him, and then fall back for an arm lock. See, look, see how he collects the arm and then moves to north-south? That one happens a lot. A lot. Usually I like when I get the arm, I pull the guy up onto his side. That way it's easier to turn around and fall back for the arm lock. If he stays flat on his back, it can be kind of hard to get, you know? Plus it's easier for him to pull his arm out. What's this one? You go to knee on belly on the guy, and then you attack with a Kimura. Sure. I don't do Kimura when I stay erect like that. I like to wipe his hand along the mat. I remember I saw a video years ago with Jacare, not Alliance Jacare, not old Jacare, but the other one, where he just absolutely blasts the guy with a Kimura by like wiping him along the mat. You know what I mean? And putting his elbow back on putting his own elbow on the mat and moving it along. You know. I think I was taught the Kimura like this years ago, but if you stay like this, the guy might turtle or the guy might whatever. But if you just suddenly plunge and put your elbow on the mat and then wipe his hand along the mat, you know what I mean? Pretty high percentage. I still do that all the time to people in training. My friends, I guess you would call them. Here he goes to knee on belly again. Looks like he's looking for a choke. Does he finish the choke on the next page? Oh, now he's going to the back. He goes to knee on belly, he puts the two hands in, then he stands up, pulls the guy up, and puts him in the back hold, you know. I sometimes refer to this as Santa's sleigh ride, because when you're like this, you're like, ho, 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 you know what I mean? With the, maybe that's a silly comparison. Here he goes from side control to mount. See, he's got over under the arm, under the head, and he slides over to mount. Fantastic. What's this one? Here he mounts him again in a slightly different way. Step over and you go to the... I've heard this called side mount, because he's on his side and you have, you know, technically this is still 4 points because you have a foot and a knee on that side, you know, under IBJJF rules, you know. I remember once I awarded 4 points for a guy doing this. He had his knee down on one side and the foot down on the other, and I gave him the 4. And then some idiot in the crowd shouted, "That's not his back! He doesn't have his back!" Like he didn't know that this was also 4, you know? That's why I think, like in Jiu Jitsu, sometimes referees should wear the belts they have. You know, I can wear my black belt. They should probably have like 3 or maybe 4 stripes on it. Anyway, maybe people would be less likely to yell at me if I was wearing, if they knew I was got my black belt in like freaking 2008 and their 2-stripe purple belt. Anyway, whatever. What's this one? Montada de guarda pasada. Side control, goes to mount. Nice. Oh yeah, it's the same one. That's the one we're talking about from one of my weird bitter tirade. Evolução da meia guarda e escapão da meia guarda. Evolution of half guard and escaping from half guard, maybe? He's got half guard, he puts his arm in there, he gets his leg out. Now he's inside controlling the guy. There you go. What's he doing here? He's caught in his half guard, he pushes the pant down, he puts his knee on the ground, just a mount. Oh yeah, here's a saída de meia guarda, escaping half guard. The guy's trying to pass your half guard, you make a butterfly hook, you turn him over, and then you're on top. Fantastic. Chaves avançadas. Maybe that's advanced movements? I don't know. Oh yeah, you put his sleeve behind your arm, then you overwrap it, and then you can look for the choke. That one's a good one. I don't know if it's sufficiently illustrated here in this rudimentary drawing, but you get his arm, you pass it over your head, you pass your arm under it, then you overhook his arm, and then you get a cross choke here, you know what I mean? And it's hard for him to escape or pull his arm away because he's caught, you know? Triangle. Yeah. When the guy's standing, it's a good time to try a triangle. Not though, and usually when he's standing and he's putting his one arm back, like earlier was shown in this book, you know what I mean? Whatever, that's a good one. I don't know if it's the finest demonstration of the triangle, but it's legit, you know? Gravata técnica. Oh yeah, this is kind of like guillotine, I guess. See? You put your hand under his neck, put it on your own wrist, fall back, and, you know, seal the deal. Gravada técnica. Oh yeah, that's basically just guillotine, but you're kneeling. Come on, let's game this! Arm locks, chaves de pacão. Pacão. Oh yeah. You have kind of an arm drag motion going on, you throw your leg over his face, arm lock him, that's a good idea. Sure. What's going on over there? I guess you were mounted, you follow the arm lock, he's resisting. So you put your foot like behind his head, put your other foot over his face. You can straighten his arm. Yeah, that's one way to do it, I guess. I don't like taking the thing off his body though, because then he might sit up and escape from the arm lock. But if you're here and he's holding his own hand, you can just shake the piss out of this leg. We used to call that doing the earthquake, you know? Yeah. Or you can take this leg and put it over both of his arms, you know what I mean, and break the grip that way. Anyway, whatever. Arm lock from the guard. He's foolish enough to have both his hands higher than your belt line, so you cross your feet behind his head, and then you can attack both his arms. That's a good one. I sometimes show that as the first arm lock from the guard. It doesn't involve you having to turn 90 degrees to your opponent, you know what I mean? You just throw your legs up, cross them behind his head, and then you can do either arm. Americana de Guarda, yeah. He's in your guard. He's dumb enough to have his arm in that position. So you sit up and overhook it, and then he puts his foot on the guy's hip. That's interesting. Usually I see this with going back to a closed guard position, but that would mess a guy up because you're not just twisting his shoulder, you're making distance between you and him. So, yeah. Although I'd be suspicious, I don't know if the guy like backs up and moves to this side. I don't know, whatever. Arm lock na guarda. This is your basic arm lock. He's in your guard. He has his two hands up on your chest, which is a foolish move. You push his face and then throw your leg over. That's actually not the best way to do it. But whatever. You'd probably end with that one being belly down, I think. Arm lock na guarda. Oh yeah, this is the more typical way. The guy's standing, he's folded over, he has his hands in your chest. You walk your legs up, you move to 90 degrees, you underhook his leg, you throw your leg over his face. Yeah, sometimes you can cross your feet, but, you know, and then you... Well, this guy looks like he's extending. I try to, like, put this leg over his head and drive his head toward the ground, you know what I mean? But this can work, you know? Driving up and extending the arm, that can work. But I try and have the head over the leg that's over the head, I try to have the heel towards the ground and then drive the guy onto his back, generally, but whatever makes him tap, you know? And then after you tap him, you ask his girlfriend on a date, you know? The quickening. Arm lock. He's in your guard, he stands up like an idiot. You climb your legs up his back, then you tip him over. Yeah, there you go. This is the one I generally try to do. Kind of. I usually have this leg over his face and I drive him towards the mat. And then again he's crossing his feet though. I like to have one over the head and one over the body. But I've seen this happen too. You know, this is how they do it in judo sometimes, you know. Whatever. Heavy duty gym. I wonder if these places still exist. Apparently Salo, Ribeiro, and Hoyler Gracie teach there. So, cool, yo. Oh. Strange, there's an advertising for Xerox Builder in Ipanema. What a strange thing to have in a leg locks. A Jiu Jitsu book from 2000 with leg locks? Good Lord, whoever wrote this book was... I wonder if anyone got angry at them for including leg locks. That's not real Jiu Jitsu! Whatever. Yeah. You're in his guard, you wrap the foot, you fall back, you have one foot on his hip, and then you extend. That's good. He's standing in your guard. You sneak between his legs, overhook his foot, wrap it, drop him. There it is. That's pretty good. He's standing over you. Once again, you get one of your legs through there. Triangle around his leg, and then you make him fall into a knee bar. Kind of cool. Dominando as costas e escapando das costas. I think it's like dominating and escaping. I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. Oh yeah. He's in your guard. You pass the arm over your head, or you go under it, and then you're climbing up onto his back, and then kind of doing a clock choke. I think, again, they sponsor the guy. Put a patch on his back. Nice. Here you have his back. You escaping? Oh yeah, this is an escape from... The guy has... Oh, wait a minute. What the hell am I looking at here? You're on the guy's back. And they didn't properly illustrate the... His whole body is colored except for the one head there. Oh yeah, this is an escape. Yeah. He has your back. You get over the one leg, get your butt to the floor, turn towards him, come up into his half guard, maybe pass. Be easier to understand if they made his head here the same color as the rest of his body, but they didn't. Is that Alan Goez? I don't know. Saída do triângulo do arm lock de gravitas. I think that means escaping triangle, arm lock from chokes maybe, or guillotine. So you're in a triangle, you posture up. That seems pretty common. He's got you in a triangle and then you hold onto his belt and push your head up. Okay, sure. You're in an arm lock, you crush him down and you pull your arm up. I call that one starting the lawnmower because it's like, you know, when you're pulling on the, you know. He has you in a headlock, you posture up, and you push his arm up his back. Silvio Bering showed me that years ago. Oh, there you go. Here's another one. He has you in a headlock, you bend over, touch his knee, sit down, and then he falls on his bum. I learned that one from the Torrance Academy curriculum. I think. It's a good move. And then you're on top of the guy, and you put pressure on his face, and you arm lock him. Yep. That's in the Gracie Basics or whatever. He's mounted on you and kind of guillotining you. Escape your head and then get back to your guard. Oh no, he's in your guard. Oh sorry, he's in your guard and he's guillotining you. Stupid move. And you put the guy in a kimura. He's choking you from behind, you move to the side and then send him flying over you. This is one Elio Gracie showed years ago in his like old videos, you know. Yeah. Como manter a distinção elevar o oponente ou chão. I don't know what that means. I know what this means though. You're kicking the guy because you want to close the distance. I think that means maintaining distance and I don't know. Keeping your opponent on the defense? I don't know. Oh, look at this. He's kicking him. What the hell? That's not real jiu-jitsu. Real jiu-jitsu involves pulling guard and, you know. Remember there was a club around here some time ago where it was like, it said without the punches. It was like martial arts without the punches and kicks. And I was like, jiu-jitsu does have punches and kicks. Haven't they seen UFC 1? Anyway, whatever. Mantenha seu oponente em distância com pesados no joelho. I don't know what it's saying. It looks like it's kick him and then elbow him in the face or punch him in the face. And then clinch. Punch him and then hug him. See? How to close the distance. Oh, I see. And then you can hug him. This is going to be that hip toss. And over he goes. Boom. So I guess it's kick him, punch him in the face, and then move to the side and toss him over. Boom. You know? You don't see this in jiu-jitsu clubs much anymore. You know, that kick, you know? I believe it's called the Pessoal. Pessoal! Pessoal, which is fun to say, you know? Anyway. Oh, look. Mr. Hobson Gracie, Professor, whatever. There's the guys that wrote the book. Ricardo and Andre. Anyway, there's that one.